it's a done deal?
Yeah, the trade is in place. I think it's just a matter of getting the very, very, very final details of everything worked out. So it's a verbal agreement. He's coming here. It's a done deal.
All right, we'll see. And we'll have Andrew Filipponi on at 10:30.
Oh, we got him on, Steiny, 10:30. So the baby in Andrew's, it's here. Gaga Goo Goo, Steiny. It's here. We talked about, are the Niners really going to do this?
I don't know.
It sounds like they are. Be careful what you wish for. And go ahead, Steiny. You were about to throw something at me.
No,
you look good in your polo.
I'll thank you. It's I'll talk about Generations Healthcare in a minute. No, I'll wait for it to become official, but I have no thoughts on whether he's right or wrong or jumped the gun or not. I just know that it
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. Yeah, it is. I'm disappointed in the Niners. I'm disappointed that that they don't have a championship, and the disease of me is set in to the point to where you're going to lose your best all-around wide receiver, your best all-around natural wide receiver. And I've learned this at an early age. Norm Johnson taught me this, Steiny. Be your own man. And that's what you and I do. I give you only my takes and my takes only, but I read. And when I read the great Tim Kawakami and The Athletic come down the Niners road in regard to, you saw this coming. How did you have your stuff not straight to allow this to be a possibility? And all I'm going to tell you, partner, is Ricky Pearsall, left, right, up the middle. He sounds like he could be possibly damaged goods. I don't know. And now we find out yesterday that McCaffrey, his calf is barking early. You let this young man, number 11, leave, and you start the season, and things happen, Steiny, to where you need to throw the ball more than, you need to rely on throwing the ball. And we find out that, there's some malfunctions or you're not as prolific on offense. You are going to pay for this day. And we're going to find out why it happened, if it does happen, Steiny. But man, oh man, I can't believe this thing is really about to pop off.
Let's see.
All right.
I'm not questioning
allegedly
Andrew Filipponi. I'm just saying.
Because Cowherd last week said it was going to happen.
Let me tell you something about the way I take things like this. He said a trade in place. They're just working on the final. So
final.
I'm gonna operate as if the 49ers are doing what they've done every day, and maybe they're closer to something right now than they've ever been, and maybe it is almost done, but I'm still operating under the premise that it's not official till it's official.
All right,
That's just me. That's just me. But we'll have Andrew Filipponi on in 20 minutes, and we'll pick his brain a little bit about what, it's funny because it's the final, but what are the 49ers getting back?
Yeah, and there are reports right now that in May, the Steelers were willing to offer the Niners a first. They balked at it. So when we find out what the return, if there is an actual trade, Steiny, if it's not a first, you missed an opportunity to get that first-round pick the first time.
Allegedly.
Okay. Yeah, allegedly. I like that word.
Allegedly.
I just can't believe Ricky Pearsall / Jawan Jennings and whoever else. Maybe a receiver's coming back, but how did it get to this, partner? The disease of me set in. Bosa held out, and he had a year left on his deal, and he didn't catch the hell that Aiyuk is catching, Steiny, in social media world. Like, he's greedy. He's not a pro. It's like, wow, y'all doing that?
So hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I got to ask you a question about
something.
Sir. Is it the disease of me? Because you just said the 49ers botched this. Which one was it? Which one is it? Did the 49ers botch this, or is it the disease of me with McCaffrey and Aiyuk and Trent Williams?
Well, the disease of me allowed everybody to eat. People still ate. Warner, Bosa, Debo, people still got their money. McCaffrey. These problems were supposed to culminate when you had some hardware to look at on your hand, and it hasn't happened. My question is, why would it see? In my world, Steiny, if I'm the Niners, I pay the guys that are worthy of it. We'll have sacrificial lambs in the secondary and the other. A guy that I deem as talented as Brandon Aiyuk, you're going to get your chicken if you're not asking for something ridiculous. And I guess if a trade does happen, we'll find out what he really was asking for. But if Pittsburgh gives him a deal and it's $28 million, Steiny, I'm going to feel like the Niners let one get away if they offered 26 and they couldn't come together.
Okay.
That's just my 2 cents.
No, that's fine.
I can't believe
I'm not
this.
Disagreeing with you.
They are a lesser offense and team without Brandon Aiyuk.
Okay.
And no more Aiyuk.
And you know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
You know what keeps crossing my mind? A few things.
Give it to me.
Oh, the Warriors. Oh, they just pay Clay. Just pay Clay. Get him. They didn't. They made a decision. No, we're not paying Klay Thompson. Paul George. Let's go get Paul George.
They tried.
Yeah, well, but they didn't. And okay, fine. We'll go to Larry Markkinen.
Both those were out of their control.
No, BS. The Golden State Warriors absolutely, positively could have acquired Lauri Markkinen if they upped the deal. But what happened? They felt they wanted to up the deal too much. The Golden State Warriors could have Lauri Markkinen right now. They could. They did.
But the reports are all they offered was Moses Moody.
Right.
But then you're not trying to get him.
My point is that the Warriors said, we're not giving you Podziemski. So they didn't want Markkinen that much. The San Francisco 49ers had an opportunity to pay Aiyuk a certain amount of money. They didn't. Why? Because they
don't believe he's worth it.
In their mind, they weighed it out and said it's not worth it for whatever reason. And it probably has something to do with moving forward. They want to be in a better spot, theoretically, with their salary cap. But to me, this is no different than Clay and I'm not saying it's not a big deal. I'm not saying you're wrong. But what I'm saying is
they made a decision.
Exactly. And now
what if it ends up being the wrong one, Steiny?
Then
that's all.
Then
we talk about these.
We'll be criticized.
And you giving Aiyuk his credit, but I mean, we got some sound we need to play from the great wide receiver Ocho Cinco, Steiny, Ocho Cinco, and I mean, my gosh, he kept it real in his assessment of how important wide receivers are. And if you're not a top 3 wide receiver, I'm paraphrasing, Steiny, you can be replaced.
Okay.
You can replicate that production. And I wonder, it looks like the Niners are saying the same thing, kind of to just back up what you said. They must feel like Brandon Aiyuk is replaceable. And obviously that they showed us that in April in the draft when they drafted Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm man. And if I watched that Super Bowl, Aiyuk was invisible, Steiny. So was that Niner offense. But, man, if you're telling me you're going to run it back with Jennings and this rookie, we're watching, and you're Mr. Everything, McCaffrey, I know you tell me I like to panic. I'm not panicking, but I do find it strange. Running back gets hurt, misses time. It's happened. We've seen McCaffrey miss time, but, man, you're really going to do that?
I mean,
on the cusp of trying to go back and defend the NFC throne?
The reality, what I want to get to the heart of is, to me, it's clear the San Francisco 49ers could have done a contract extension with Brandon Aiyuk. It might have cost him 26. It might have cost him 28. It might have cost him 30.
Yeah.
But they decided not to.
Yeah.
So they could have. It's not like Brandon left in free agency and said, I love you, Niners, but I'm going to this team.
Yeah.
That'd be one thing. The Niners decided we are not paying him that amount of money. Why? Why?
Man,
I don't know.
And neither do I.
But
let me take a crack at it real quick. Pinata. I think they can replicate what he's done, Steiny. And it's obvious by their choice in the draft, right? With their first-round pick. That's what they're telling us.
Yep.
But it'll be hell to pay, I believe, just with fans, and they matter, that if we watch this offense and it takes a step back, you're going to be like, wow, Maybe that wasn't the right decision. And I guess that comes with the territory, partner. But what they do with those funds that they save, if a trade does happen by not paying Aiyuk, it'll be interesting too. Because right now, Steiny, it looks like with a pretty good year from one Brock Purdy, he's going to get the bag or reset the market. Well, and Dak will be out there too.
I think he's less likely to reset the market without Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah, I agree.
And I
agree with that one.
I have two silver linings for 49er fans if Aiyuk does get traded.
I can't wait to hear one.
One is the silver lining is now they get to assess Brock Purdy in a more realistic manner. They get to assess Brock Purdy quarterbacking the type of team that he's actually going to have to quarterback 2 or 3 years from now. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do.
Van Halen.
Elton John. Oh. And secondly, hell, maybe they saved money on the Purdy contract when they have to pay him next year because he's less likely to put up monster numbers.
Steiny, you look like a professor. I'm not mad at that, but that goes under finances. Mm-hmm. What about winning?
Well, finances are very important.
I think they want to win and pay Brock Purdy as opposed to, he ain't that. He's not as great as he ain't 60 million ready, but we lost in the first round of the playoffs. Why? And you help me out. I look at Joe Burrow. Why are we not looking at Joe Burrow saying, what is he without Jamar Chase? Why are we looking at Dak Prescott, who's already had a contract, without a CeeDee Lamb?
Because those quarterbacks have been paid. Brock Purdy has not been paid.
I'll give you that.
So
I'll give you that.
And listen, I got to be clear. I'm not here saying, Niners, they're playing chess. I'm not saying that. I'm going to do it all day. Why didn't they pay this guy? What was it? Why didn't they pay that guy?
I got to believe his asking price he's asking for 30 or more. The Steph Curry or the O.J. Simpson.
And now I'll just take the other side. Okay, he wanted 30.
Now
give him 30.
You can't. No.
Okay. Well, then if he asked for 30 and you're saying you can't give him 30, well then
I understand.
Then we're at an impasse.
Yes. But do you think we'll find that out, or we'll find out if he's traded to Pittsburgh? They got to know he wants to re-up. Like we got too many good reporters not to find out. Like you said, they haven't talked since May. Think about that. And maybe Steiny, now while you were
Klay
gone,
Thompson,
and Evan and I were trying to be Dick Trace, Perry Mason, maybe that bro hug was about there was a deal coming.